It is not that he lacks the effort to see his destination and moves towards it diligently. It is that he has been deceived into taking a trip down a path that dead ends. His days are spent chasing mirages that will give him status, thinking that the next one will contain the treasure of fulfillment. But he captures it and soon finds that it is empty, a lifeless carcass made by the hands of man.
At ease, brothers. I want to talk about something very specific today. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I believe this is the deciding factor on, what keeps man common, what keeps man from waking up, what keeps man from ultimately finding his awareness, right? So you got to understand this, man. It seems like everybody is living, an individual life with their own purpose, with their own desires. But if you look below the surface, man, everybody is addicted to pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna say it a different way. There are roughly 335 million, give or take someone in that arena, Americans, people living in the U.S. The far majority of people are actually craving the same thing. The far majority of people are actually addicted to the same drug. You know what I'm saying? It may look different. You know what I'm saying? You may look at the heroin addict and see him shooting up with a needle all day. And you may see, the female on social media that's taking 100 selfies and posting booty shots every day. It looks like they're doing something completely different, but they're craving the exact same drug. Craving the exact same drug, man. You might see women at the casinos left and right, and you might see men in the strip clubs or men on the Harry Hines of America. Those from Dallas understand it, that there was the strip. That's still the hot spot. Looking for strange women. It may look like they're doing two different things, man, but they're craving the exact same drug. The brother that's strung out on cocaine, the brother that's strung out on shiny things, shiny belt, shiny cars. It looks like they're living two completely different worlds, man. But again, everybody is craving the exact same drug. And that drug is fulfillment. You may think Mary Jane is addictive. You may think Crown and Coke is addictive. You may think perks are addictive. Fulfillment is what everybody is looking for, man. And the thing is, I'm gonna tell you this: at some point, you're gonna burn out. At some point, you're gonna get tired. Maybe. At some point, the far majority of people are gonna get tired. But the thing is, people getting tired of this and people getting tired of using this drug. If you don't understand where to turn to, you're just gonna be going back and forth, healing yourself and being back strung out on needing it. But at some point, you're gonna get tired, bro. At some point, you're gonna get tired of spending all your money on keeping up with the Joneses, spending all your money on being accepted, spending all your money on entertaining a new woman every weekend, spending all your money on getting a new outfit so your sisters can think you popping. At some point, you're gonna get tired of that. If not that, at some point, you're gonna get tired of becoming a slave to everything you buy. You're gonna get tired of being a slave to extensive car notes and high mortgages and high rents and the high cost of fancy. At some point, brothers, I'm telling you, you're gonna get tired of it. But the thing is, what most people do is they get tired of it and they fall back into it. And once they go into moments of silence and calm down, they step right back into it. Maybe another addiction, another vice. Maybe you were gambling, now it's drinking. Maybe it was women, now it's snorting something. I'm telling you, man, every single person. But you gotta understand this. Once you understand where that fulfillment where it really comes from, then it's easy to navigate through life. Not only is it easier to navigate through life, once you get that true fulfillment, then these things you're trying to obtain, it becomes easier. It becomes 10 times easier. Perfect example, man. if y'all can remember me making videos a couple of years ago, I made a video about a brother named Alex Becker. I'm not sure where Becker lives now. I know he's originally from Dallas. He relocated to Austin, Texas some years ago. But Becker was a brother, man, had his own business, accumulated millions of dollars, bought him a mansion, bought him a few Lambos, and he was making content. Had his Lambo in the background. A lot of y'all have seen his face, seen his ads. All of a sudden, one day, Becker woke up, man, and just sold everything. Sold his crib, sold his car, sold everything he had and moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. All he had was a couch, a computer, and a desk, and a bed in the bedroom. And he just lived in this energy for I guess what seemed like a couple of years. And he said, you know what? He was trying to break this down. He said, you know what, man? These things were just robbing me. And he had a series of videos, man, where he was just going in. He said, you know what, man? It seems like this is the goal everybody wants. But once you get it, this stuff is actually robbing you of your soul. What he was saying is it's really robbing you of your fulfillment. Now, let me be clear, man, because when I talk about this stuff, a lot of people may get it mixed up that I'm saying that people shouldn't have a certain thing, that people shouldn't swing for the fence, that people shouldn't want huge homes and fast cars. I'm not saying that. I'm actually saying you should actually put that on your bucket list of things to accomplish. But what I'm saying is if you do it in the wrong order, those things will rob you until you die. They'll rob you until you die. So what Becker did was he sit back in the cut. He went to his silence. He sit in this 1-bedroom apartment for a year, 2 years. But found that fulfillment. And then what he understood, what he had been chasing, once he found that fulfillment, it became easy. I believe the last video I saw of his, which was very recent, I believe he ended up selling his company for, I want to say 100 and some million, maybe $200 million. So what I'm saying, once he found that fulfillment and sit inside of it, all those things that people are swinging for the fence for, it becomes easier, man, because you're coming from a different space. You got to understand this, bro. You got to understand when I say people are really searching for fulfillment, this is what people are actually looking for, man. What people are actually trying to do is close the circuit, right? Now, I know the religion calls it the Trinity, but I'm not talking about the Trinity. Because the Trinity, what the Trinity does is put your God in heaven and put your Jesus, hanging on some stick 2,000 years ago. So I'm not talking about that. When I'm talking about they're trying to find that connection. Again, I'm talking about the triad. For y'all that read the book, y'all understand what I'm talking about. That's really the fulfillment people are looking for. Connecting that higher self to that lower self. Forming what the Trinity is saying. When God comes into the picture, where two are gathered, where two or more are gathered, I am there also. That's what people are looking for. I'm gonna say it again. What people are looking for really is knowledge of self, closing the circuit of self, connecting with that other half. That's where fulfillment is, brothers. I'm gonna be honest, and I share this with my brothers, and I share this with my brothers in a circle. Like I've been on my spiritual journey for a long time. I'll say for just over, taking it serious for the last 20 plus years, maybe 23, 24 years. And I can easily say, if I'm honest with myself, I can easily say that I didn't close my triad. I didn't really connect with my higher self until 2023. I can easily say that. But because now I'll be honest, I could feel this connection getting closer. I'll say over the last year and a half or two, I could feel this connection getting closer. But at the same time, I was still reaching out to vices. I was still reaching out to things for fulfillment. But they were slowly tapering off, man, because I could feel there was something greater. But I can tell you this, brothers, and I don't know the exact date. The moment I connected my higher self with my lower self, brother, I went cold turkey on everything. You got to understand that there's no higher fulfillment. Let me read this, brother. There's no higher fulfillment than a man connecting that higher self to lower self. This is what I said in the Singular Truth, right? In the chapter Together and Agree. It says this: when the ego mind and the Christ mind come together as one, it is man's most powerful moment and is considered the first marriage of man. I'm gonna tell you this, brother. When your higher mind and your lower mind come together and agree, there's no bottle of Crown. There's no Henny. There's nothing you can snort. There's no blow. There's nothing you can burn that can fulfill that. And the thing is this, I don't touch it now. The thing is, it's not even about it being morally wrong. Normally when people talk about these vices, they're saying, oh, well, it's not godly to do all that stuff. Who am I to judge what's godly and not godly? The reason a man will stop messing with those things because he understands one thing. He understands now that where he's vibrating, that any vice that he can use on this planet can only bring him down. So that's why I don't mess with it. Not that I feel like it's morally bad, but it's like, bro, I've connected to something. I've connected to something, man, that I've never been able to fulfill. And to be honest, a lot of y'all might not understand what I'm talking about unless you've tasted it. Unless you've tasted it, man, because it's easy. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. When I say it's the ultimate fulfillment, like in my mind, I have no desire for no drink, no smoke. I have no desire for no multiple women. But because I understand that in my past, when I was looking for those things, really, I wasn't searching for those things. I was really searching for what came on the back end of those things. I was really searching for the fulfillment that I thought I was going to get. Like my brother Money Boys read at the opening of this video. People search for these things, but when they find them, they realize they're empty carcasses made by the hands of man. Whether it's drink, whether it's assets, you got to understand, man. Getting those things, nothing is wrong with that. But if you get those things out of order, but brother, you'll go to those things seeking fulfillment and getting there, having those things for a day, a month, saying, you know what, ain't nothing to it. There's nothing in there. So I'm telling you, man, what people are really seeking. And when you think about it, man, you can see the people that have been at like their wits end. When you see a person that just like deletes themselves, you know what I'm saying? That person has gone as far as they can go without knowing what avenue to turn to. You know, you can see people in Hollywood. You think think that life is grand. They have the mansions. They have the garage full of cars. They have all the bad women. They have money to do all these things. But you wake up one day, you cut the news on, and it's like, man, so and so done took 30 pills. So and so done put a hot one in his head. And in your mind, you're thinking, why? Like why would he do that? It's because he searched under every single rock and found out that fulfillment didn't exist there. Not understanding where to go, the brother said, you know what? I no longer want to live. I no longer want to be here. If what I'm searching for can't be found, then even on a subconscious level, what he's saying is, I know I'll find it at death. Even if he's not even aware of that, I know that once I delete myself and put myself back with the creator of all things, I'll find that thing. Not knowing that if he can connect his higher self and lower self, that's when God appears. That same frequency that zero frequency that's found at death. When you merge your higher mind, your higher and lower minds, brother, that's where that fulfillment is. I'm telling you. And again, this is what's keeping the common man common. This simple thing. So you ask yourself, how do I find that self, soul? How do I merge my higher and lower self? How do I merge my Christ and my ego? How do I conduct the first marriage of man? It's simple, bro. The first thing you have to understand, man, is that the far majority of people are operating strictly in ego. They're separating the two. You know what I'm saying? Again, they understand that, that we're in this human experience. They understand that we're operating on this third dimensional plane. But when they think about the spiritual side of self, they're putting it in another individual that lived many years ago. So it's really bringing those two back together. You are your Jesus. I'm gonna say it again for the people that's just now walking out of church. You are your Jesus. And if you can't understand that, you'll never conduct the first marriage of man. As long as you're putting all your spiritual power into a person that lived long ago, the church is actually pimping you. The church is actually charging you 10% of all your profits to tell you what's really already inside of you. So the first thing you have to do, man, to marry yourself is understand that higher self is not something outside of you, but that it is you. And I'm gonna tell you what takes place after that, man. And I'm gonna tell you this: it's something that I heard several times, but I didn't understand it. Like when I talked about and I talked about this a few times. When I talked about me throwing that book away that I bought from Russell Simmons, from was it Russell Simmons? Yeah. When I talk about throwing that book away, I threw that book away because he was talking about what I'm talking about right now, and I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to hear how I can make my pockets fat. I wanted to hear about how I could get bigger homes and all these things. I didn't want to hear about finding this Zen state and meta. I didn't want to hear all that. Not knowing that if I would have just held onto the book, I'm sure he would have got to the meat potatoes at the end. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. Once you merge these worlds together, once you merge your higher and lower self, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. And this is one thing I understand. And I read this a million times before I understood it. And I've quoted it before, I'm sure. But in the master key system, when he says, of course, when man finds this power, he will instantly understand that he can create all things, because now he's brought God into his life, or whatever you want to call that, right? He said, but this is the thing. He said, once a man tastes that, he begins to fall in love with the power itself, as opposed to what the power can create. And I'm gonna tell you, a few years ago, I was like, hey, you know what? That sounds good. Like, that sounds very, like you're very conscious about something, but I'm not interested. I'm more interested in getting the shiny things. Like, you can keep the rest of that, falling in love with the power. Like, keep that. It sounds good. But I'm telling you, bro, once you taste this, it makes sense. Not only do the desires of many things fall away because you have fulfillment, now these things you're trying to manifest become second nature. Second nature. You're doing a lot of stuff right now because you're seeking fulfillment. Hell, you're going to eat fried chicken every day because you're seeking fulfillment. It's giving you a state of bliss. You're going to the strip club because it's giving you bliss. You're snorting powder because it's giving you bliss. You're scrolling social media 25 hours a day because it's giving you bliss. When you see these sisters posting booty pictures, it's not that they really want men to come out the woodworks and start asking for the number. A lot of them don't even want these men. They want that energy that man is giving them, because it's a state of fulfillment. It's a state of fulfillment, man. So again, man falls in love with that power once he tastes it. And then, creating this life you want, it becomes easy, man. It becomes actually second nature. Because once you've completed the first marriage of man, it's like now you're actually being human. Now you've actually found self, man. So having said that, man, I'll simply say, step into your power and find your truth. What I'm really saying is find self. Merge those two worlds. Understand that you are your Jesus just as much as you are a part of your ego. And once you find that, define your truth. What I mean is, once you find yourself, once you include this power in your life, then live the life you want to live. You're free now. You're free now. Why not live the life you want to live? Do whatever you want to do. If you still want to go sit in the cubicle from 12 to 12, do that. If you want to spend the rest of your life traveling the world and climbing the Himalayas of the world, do that. If you want to become the owner of your brick and mortar, if you want to get married, if you want to have children, do that. Now you have power to do all things.